Well, greetings everyone, and welcome once again to our We the People, brought to you by the Coalition for Community Elevation. Um, Moving back to Monday night, we will be back on the air on Mondays from now on. But when you think about the things that have happened over the weekend, over the last coming weeks, um, it's only natural that I guess I want to say persons of color and people with good common sense um, have become increasingly alarmed by what's happening uh, in this administration. So, in starting my little monologue tonight, excuse me, okay, somewhere along the way, uh, Power stopped listening and started daring us to object. We still let me move up here. There's a couple of things that I wanted to move around. Okay. Yes. We are told that it's a free country, but freedom never comes to people without fine print. You can speak until your voice gets loud. You can protest until it costs money. You can question until the question gets too close to the truth. We don't live under leaders anymore. We live under managers of compliance. Agencies uh, lie and call it policy. Institutions fail and demand more trust. Corruption gets protected. Whistleblowers get buried. And the public is told to calm down, be patient, wait until their turn again. It's to be clear. Excuse me. Hold on. Uh, yeah, we're on air now, Quincy. You want to join us?
Very impromptu. I finally got a little break. Okay. If you feel like it's a good time,
I can.
what do I do? Do I need to download something?
No, I'll just send you the link. Here. I'll send you the link. Check your email right quick.
Yes, sir. Okay. I'll
Yeah.
log in.
Yeah. So again, let's go back to agencies. Well, let's send Quincy our. We're going to send Quincy an invite here. Get Quincy in. Let's invite Quincy here. Sorry about that. It's taking a little longer than usual, but I wanted to get Quincy in. Quincy's our newest volunteer. Okay, we've sent that to Quincy. We can get more people in now. We can get Quincy in. Okay, so Quincy should be here any moment. I do see Brother Masada is in the queue. Brother Masada, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, Brother Quincy gave me a call here a minute ago, so I'm going to kind of get him into the conversation as soon as he gets in.
That's good. Go ahead. I'm enjoying listening right now.
uh, well, there's a lot that's been going on. I'm going to see if I can finish my monologue here. And let's see. Yeah, okay. So let's be clear. A government that fears protest more than corruption is not stable. It's scared. And when proven that it gets scared, it does not self correct. It tightens, it surveils, it criminalizes decent citizens and calls it order. As we can see, it's happening not just with us, but all around the world. So when power gets scared, as I said, it does not self correct. It tightens, it surveils, it criminalizes dissidents, and it calls it order. Uh, it's not about left or right, it's about who answers to whom. Because when accountability disappears, democracy becomes a performance, and the people become the audience instead of the authority. Tonight, we are not here to soothe anymore. We're here to ask questions. Power, excuse me, uh, we're here to ask questions to power, and it hopes that you're not too tired. We hope that you're not too tired to ask. We have seen things this weekend, for instance, the uh, closing of the Strait of Hormuz. Uh, for people that perhaps are not familiar with the geography in that region, the Strait of Hormuz is a very narrow strait. It's even narrower than the Panama Canal. So for the Iranians to blockade this, uh, it's actually uh, kind of strategically to their uh, commitment because the Iranians basically supply oil to China as well as parts of the Near East, like India. And those countries are getting their oil shipments through. So, for their major allies and their major sources of income, the Iranians right now kind of hold us hostage. It's not the other way around. But once again, let's see. Uh, where, okay. So, you were talking about this with me a little earlier, Masada. What do you think about that? I mean, we know your thoughts mostly, but once again, we have uh, a man that's off the reservation. He doesn't have to. He feels he doesn't have to go to Congress to declare war, and now he has gotten himself in a little trouble because the same people that he criticized less than a month ago, meaning our NATO allies, he is now calling on them to help him get out of this hot water that he's in. And a lot of them are saying, no, this is your war, not ours. What's your thoughts when you see different countries around the world standing up to this man, but not our own?
Well, my thoughts are this: all the rest of the world are awakening and finding out who America really is. America is finally unveiling herself fully, and the rest of the world isn't with that. This has been going on for years. It's not just with Venezuela. We've done this many and many a times when we don't like a dictator. I mean, when I was a kid, they did it. They called it what did they call it? The Iraq War. I forgot what it was called, but they did that with this, right? They did actually when I became a Marine, 9/11. We wanted something, we go and take it. We don't like their leadership, or we put their leadership in power. Their leadership all of a sudden is getting more power than we wanted them to have. They don't do what we want them to do, and then we take it back from them again. And so this has just been a reoccurring theme of America. Now, this person that we have here now in power, he's just making it way more obvious. He's not doing it, he's not hiding it. So it's more prevalent and more in our faces, and especially since everybody has cameras nowadays. And it's just sad. So the UN and other countries, I feel like since there's a lot going on right now, tensions around Iran, oil, retaliation, and how the US is responding, and people are reacting fast, but it's not always thinking deep. Um, right now we have Iran going on. We still got Gaza going on. We still have the Ukraine going on. And so when you hear about attacks tied to oil or Iran, everybody has to understand this. It's not just about one incident. It's about power, economics, and long-standing geopolitical tension. Um, Oil is still one of the most powerful resources in the world. It's slowly trying to fade away, but they're keeping it in power. Anytime it's involved, we're not just talking about energy, we're talking about influence and money and control. And that's what they do. That's why we live in California. Our gas prices that went up like triple. Um, and it's kind of crazy because it's the same old rhetoric they use. And I've never been understanding of why when we go to war all of a sudden right now, especially when we have a lot of other resources and things that we can do, from electricity to the hybrid cars and the electrical vehicles, how the gas prices go up and why is oil still going on. So um, it's just it's crazy. People haven't got to see the bigger picture. What we have to understand is these conflicts just don't stay overseas. They affect everything globally, global stability, military presence, and even how safe people feel day to day. So the most important thing is people who suffer, the civilians, and the other countries don't want their civilians to suffer. So I'll leave it at that and welcome Quincy to the program. How are you doing, brother Quincy?
Good evening. I'm doing well. Doing well. Got this phone to work well, so I'm all right.
We were talking about the things that are happening as far as uh, Iran is concerned. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the newly perpetuated war by the man that's on Pennsylvania Avenue right now. Um,
Hey.
the same man that has dodged the draft is now suddenly talking about bringing the draft back.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what's some of your thoughts on what's going on around the world in this administration, and why do you think that it's easier for the world to stand up to this man than it is for our own people here at home?
Those are two very complex questions. Um, I have to process the second one. The first thought is that be careful for distractions. You know, um, it's very easy to bring a scenario that stops you from considering deeper issues, more difficult things that it may take to bring solutions and change. And so our person in office at this time is a master of deception and manipulation, and I don't say that in the most negative way, but it's an awareness. Um, this conversation could turn into a lot of different conversations, right? Where we ask, what is the purpose of the draft? And why is it important to serve your country at the time that it's needed? And then it could go into different directions like, what about division and the consequences of causing people to use fear to make that judgment, right? And to divide internally based on some of these things. Um, I think I'd like to hold judgment for now and acknowledge that I notice a distraction.
Do you think that this is an a way to subvert what's happening with the Epstein files? Do you think that this is, the administration's way of, you know, uh, kind of getting us away from internal issues while trying to make it seem like an international incident where it's really an incident that has been created by uh, the man in the White House?
It's possible. Um, that sounds like a common tactic, right? It's kind of like sleight of hand of like a magician. Uh, it depends on the expectation of what happens if the people choose to make decisions based on whatever evidence these files hold as a group. Uh, if I was incredibly uncomfortable with someone having a power dynamic, it would be seen on me redirecting, the intentions of the people that might use it against me. If I have a limping leg, I don't want you to see that I'm limping. I'm gonna try to, stand up straight or something. So it could be. I have not taken a deep dive into that train of thought. There are a few other things that I focus on in my power at this time. However, it's possible, I think.
Uh, Masada, Brother Quincy was just speaking to things that are within our power. And that makes me, that brings me back to our event this weekend, where we are holding our first event, and the subject is, what is a coalition? And the reason why I bring this up is because, uh, as Brother Quincy had just mentioned, uh, there are certain things that we can do on a national, on a local level, while exploring these things on a national level also. So when we talk about having our first event, what does that what type of opportunity do you think that that presents us locally, as well as while keeping an eye on what's happening nationally?
It does a great thing. It gives it gives people a voice. It gives them an outlet. It gives them opportunity to be a part of something and to do something and not just feel like they're doing something, but actually know they're being heard and know a progress is being made. Um, as of people who are watching know, we're brand new, we're just starting and already have the balls rolling on several events and getting things going. We have two garden plots. We're already growing food to help feed the community. This form right here, the table is the comment table, is so that they can actually be heard, because what I've heard from Quincy is what I hear from other Americans when you ask Like, why aren't we doing nothing? Why the rest of the country is doing this? I don't feel that we're quiet as people. Um, I feel we're just scattered and stressed, and people are trying to survive. They got a lot of weight, like sitting in. They got a lot of weight sitting on them, right in their chest. They got the bills due. Their kids need diapers. Their kids need food. They need daycare. Life ain't stopping, and it's hard to fight the system when you're fighting just to breathe. So about the war, about what people going on, the average person, when you talk to them, they don't want it. We're not divided. I talk to people all day, every day that look different than me, that have different jobs, different hierarchies, different incomes, different classifications from poor to wealthy, and it's all the same. Even though we have different opinions, it's the same confusion. The truth is getting buried under a lot of illusion and a lot of distraction. Um, and so this 21st is going to give people a voice, and it's going to give them something to grasp onto, to know that momentum's coming, so we can do something about this person that's living in Pennsylvania Ave, and not just this person, but all the people who work over there that's allowing this shit to happen, that's not trying to impeach. All the people who work there, who their sons, when you talk about the draft, brother James, you're a Vietnam veteran. Don't know how you got in there, whether you were drafted or you went on your own. Either way it happened, you are a Vietnam veteran. These people's sons, their sons are dodging the draft. Their sons are getting out of it. They got out of it, and yet they're sending everybody else's family to die. So I feel like this is spinning back to Vietnam, when people got tired of seeing their sons, and they actually saw the graphics of war, and they realized, oh shit, it's our sons being sent there, and not these Republicans and not these Democrats, because Democrats are going to say Republicans, Republicans are going to say Democrat, and then we're all going to blame Trump, who we all know is just a figurehead. So what's really going on is just going to give people opportunity to actually breathe for a second, and know that they have people fighting for them and things that are really trying to change.
I think that that was the most impactful moment when it came to making the decision to become an activist or a person who's directly involved with community engagement. Taking the time to communicate and see others who support and love me, to push me to a level for my safety. I think it was the first time when I moved to San Diego, I went to a rally. Okay, it was a No Justice, No Peace rally at the University of San Diego, right? And I had never been to a space where I saw so many people say, "Hey, I don't really look like you, but what's happening, we have to do something about this." And they would lay down on the ground and do a silent protest. That was the first silent protest that I've ever been to. And so, yes, coming together is very important. Coming with solutions is very important. But just becoming visible is also equally as important, to say, hey, you really care about this. I care about this. You care about me. I care about you too. Thank you for the hard work you've done that I didn't know. And I'm ready to show you the work that you may not know.
Brother Quincy, you have just signed on as a volunteer with CCE, and we're hoping, of course, that we can get you much more involved. But volunteers work on what I call the CPR principle. C for your conduct. Always remember that once you make a commitment, that you are there and that you adhere to the rules of whatever organization that we happen to be affiliated with at that day. P, punctuality. Being a new organization, our word and our commitment are the two most important things that we have. And R is respect. Always respect not only the people, but also the concepts and possibly, whatever religious aspects of the organization that we are going to. So, Brother Quincy, what inspired you to become a volunteer?
Um, I've known Masada for almost a year and a half now, and his character resonates with some of the things that I value in myself. So he opened the door and initiated conversation. And there was a moment in which the discussion became a signal, or maybe even a sign, some would say, that I have found a place that I can put energy into to see a direct response. And I try my best not to make brash statements or statements that are completely empirical, right? You know, what this coalition is attempting to do and is doing actively has the fastest response to change if you start measuring it. So, becoming a volunteer is usually the first step. You cannot just assume you know enough until you participate and you know actively do things. So this is why I made the decision. This is my learning experience. This is the time that I can take notes, observe deeply, find my lane if I'll have a lane, or maybe I'll have three lanes, and you know, be able to start the contribution process. You know,
Masada, you want to speak to some of the projects that we are engaged in?
Yeah. Well, first of all, let me acknowledge what Brother Quincy said because I had no idea. I appreciate you, brother. It's been about a year and a half, 2 years, and I appreciate you and for how you stood out to me with your energy and everything that you hold to you. I hold it as well as to me, so I appreciate that. And yeah, we're getting with. We're part of Sweetwater Gardens. We're working with Mundo Gardens. We've been their workshops. They're part of the Green Corridor Project, and we'll be working with them later on April 3rd coming up. They have another project, and their project is basically community building. They have 57 acres. They're restoring back land to the people of San Diego, land that was taken as it is usually in every city to do reconstruction for the people who don't live there. And so they got a grant to get it back. They've gotten it back. And so what we've been doing is not just policing and clearing the area. They're gardening. They're bringing more gardens up. They're making sure the place is ready for destruction and then reconstruction, rebuilding. And that's a very lengthy process. It's a 5 to 10 year plan that they're working on. So we're being part of every one of their movements of their workshops, gathering more people and more volunteers. We've been helping them with theirs while we've been working on ours. And ours, one is going to be the forum. After the forum, then the next one we're going to make it bigger. The forum is going to be very small because we want to start off, like you said, is very, Brother Quincy said it is very profound when you're seen and when you're heard. So we want to start off small so people know that they're being seen and heard. And as we grow, we want to make sure we keep that same feel as a small. But as we get bigger, we make sure that everybody is still being heard and being seen. So the next project with that is we're bringing in chess, we're bringing in cubes for the kids, and with that, we're going to teach them how to garden. We're going to teach them how to eat well. What we're going to teach them what it means to eat well, why they should eat well. We're going to teach them about fasting in the body. We're going to teach them about mind and the mind control. With that, we're going to teach them about with fasting mind control. You bring chest in there, and you bring cubes in there, and that's discipline, life lessons. We learn in chess that a loss is not a loss. It's just another way to pivot and learn better from it. And with the cubes, I actually listened. I want to say vector calculus, Brother Quincy.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
For all those who don't know about the Rubik's Cube, take a history deep dive. Start with Googling when did Rubik's Cubes appear, and then Google when did vector calculus appear. Take some time to do a little bit of research, and you'll be surprised and find the correlations.
We're
Uh,
gonna
go ahead, Miss. Hahn.
I was just gonna say, so those are some of the things that we're working on that's coming up in play that we'll be doing with the community, and with the kids, but have the adults out as well, because we all know once you mentor and work with the youth, their parents, their uncles, their grandmas, and everybody else, they see what you're doing. We all say we're all for the kids, so this is going to be the time to step up. And not, I don't want anybody short improving. I just want them to step up and be who they are or who they say they want to be for that individual in their life, because when we build with the kids, the kids build the communities, and that works. And I'll stop by saying this. I went to the beach with my kids on Saturday, and I saw two kids, one from a family that lets them come over and play with us and just from baseball, and another one from I teach chess. And when they both saw me and my family, they wanted to just hang out, and they were great kids. And that's how we build. We build one child at a time, but we build in community. And it was great because those children don't look like me, and yet they're around people like us and building for the community to where we're all one. So look out for our events. We have them on our social media pages. They're all over mine. You'll be able to see them. Um, please look at them. Please go, come to them. It's for a community.
I
Uh,
have, before we go further, how long is each event?
Um,
well, it depends, and I mean, what your commitment is what you can commit. I mean, it's just because Masada and I might be there from sun up to sundown. If you only have an hour, then that's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first, so everybody out there, we have a scheduled time. They go no longer than 3 hours, but it's like a good family party or barbecue. You pull up, we tell you it's gonna be from 1 to 3. Stuff get out of hand and get fun. It end up being 7, 8. It turned into we Spanish people, like they say, all of a sudden it's 5 in the morning and they kicking us out. So you come as you are, you stay and learn, and everything is love. So when you come, we always make sure that you know that you come into a place where you can stay as long as you want, come as you are, stay as long as you want, and have fun and know you're loved.
Very
Uh,
good. Thank you for
Brother Quincy,
that, sir.
you and Masada have mentioned the chess program more than once. Can you kind of tell us how you got involved, and when you think of your commitment as a volunteer, uh, what qualities and preparation do you bring uh, as a volunteer to this next generation?
Okay. I would like to section the answers. So, just staying forward as a volunteer, typically I always bring myself in the best fashion. So, what that means for me is I keep chessboards on me at all times. I think I have about 10 boards in the car at any given moment with chairs and tables within 5 minutes reach so that I can have a chess moment. Um, because something about the game works out in other events at any time. So that's one aspect. Maybe I'll bring that form of entertainment for the breaks, When you take a break, nothing like kicking back and having a conversation behind those 64 squares. The other aspect would be, you know, as a volunteer, I have to kind of extend the example that when you meet someone new, you can see a form of love without any payment. Things are very transactional. So I've learned with my behaviors, I have the ability to give somebody else, that moment where they can say, okay, he's giving me free love. He didn't necessarily have to do or say anything. I can do it too. So that keeps the energy right, if that makes sense, especially when you have all these different things happening in the world. You guys are creating, or we as a community are creating somewhat of an anointed space where we are coming out of the mess that's going on around us, and we're focusing right there into where we are together. And so it's very important to be intentional about that. And so as a volunteer, I think of myself as kind of like the tempo driver. You know, I'm not too fast and I'm not too slow. I'm very aware of how I speak, how I talk to people, how I move in space. So that's one thing that I think that I will bring that will be very supportive. And the last thing of the sections is just being present to do work, whatever that work is. Anytime we take on the challenge of something that's really important,
Mhm.
it's very important to show that you're willing to do all of the different things that you need to do. Sometimes it's setting up tables and chairs, sometimes it's breaking them up, sometimes it's passing out water, sometimes it's pulling a chair out, sometimes it's kind of acting as an extra eye for the children, and sometimes it's just getting your hands really, really dirty. So those are the areas that I think I bring as a volunteer to kind of propel my experience.
Nice. Let me add something to that with chess so people know what we're talking about here. Chess is a stress reliever for adults and many people, but stress is an act of game learning. I met brother Quincy because he is in downtown playing chess. He runs a chess league. I do chess for kids in school. Um, I can say you run a chess league, brother. You do it really good. Yeah, I've been there a couple of
I'm
times.
modest, man. I'm just a man. All right.
We
I
all
bring the
are. So
decibels. That's all.
it's all good, brother. We can take those flowers. I'm gonna give them to you. But chess isn't just a game. It's a life training tool for kids. We teach them think before acting, patience and discipline, problem solving, and learning from their mistakes, but also planning ahead. Um, if you teach a child chess, you can teach them how to move through life. And so that's what chess is for uh, us, and that's why we're bringing it. And brother Quincy is, like I said, I teach it. When I played this man and saw how he was teaching other adults and all, I felt like it was really a good thing to bring him on. So I understand you're going to be helping in all ways, but in the way with chess is going to be a great thing. And then just jumping back and forth, brother James, talking about this Trump and about what's going on with the chaos. I wore this shirt intentionally today, but just like you wear your hat that said you can't fix stupid. Um, I feel like a lot of people right now we're in demise because we're very chaotic. Nobody knows what's going on right now. Um, we're being moved apart. There's different opinions and confusion, and it's making everybody upset. I've been seeing the leave black people alone things, and I've been like, man, the world been crazy. It's spring break, it's getting hot. Been seeing all these people fighting and everything. And then I go to the dog park today. I told y'all about the incident I had Saturday with a Caucasian lady, woman. I don't know what she wanted me to call her. She was a woman. She got upset with me calling her a woman. Her kid had went twice. My kid had got in line and the person was going to let my kid go first. And my kid was like, no, these kids are here. And then he looked at me like that. I did the right thing, thought it was all cool. The lady was having a problem because her kid couldn't go back again in a spot that my kid went in, although her kid had went twice. And it got so bad that the kid was screaming, Mom, would you please stop? And the woman told me I best not speak again, like she was going to do something to me. And then today at the dog park, I put my dog on the leash because we're walking out, and dogs run, so you don't want them to run. The guy has his two poodles on a leash, and my dog's going up to sniff him. Dogs know when other dogs are cool. They're not saying nothing. He sees me and yanks his dog like he's scared, and I'm like, dude, they're just dogs. Let them be. He says, well, I don't trust nobody who got their dogs on the leash. I paused for a second because I was like, you got two dogs and they're both on the leash. And it dawned on me that everybody's being getting distracted by thinking it's going to be a race war and thinking that we should hate each other because you're black or you're white or you're this and that, and we're being really distracted by the true enemy. And the true enemy is the government, who's not doing anything but letting this ridiculousness go on. And I just had to say that. So brother Quincy, thank you for being on the podcast. But when we're on the podcast, we're supposed to have a strict schedule, a lineup, and I throw things off because I don't give a f. I need to talk about this crazy shit that in a way that we all understand. We all need to be calm and all need to get together. And so that's why we're having the forum on the 21st, because we won't, like you said, you came to San Diego, you went to San Diego State and saw a rally with the same minded people, not the same color, but the same mind and the same heart. And that's what we all need to understand. Everybody's going through some pain. Everybody got a struggle. Everybody's trying to eat. Everybody's trying to feed their families. The only people who ain't worried about their families are the people that we're fighting to protect and fighting to elect, but they're not protecting or serving us as they need to be. So I just had to say that, brother James, and I'll give you the podium back.
Oh no, I definitely understand where a lot of people are coming from, and being someone, I was not drafted per se. Uh, I was drafted in the sense of my status in the neighborhood, which is another thing. But nowadays, we have an all volunteer army in our armed forces. So it's a lot different. When people start seeing their sons and daughters uh, being victims of war, it becomes a lot different. Before Tet, um, the Vietnam War was viewed a lot differently, even though we had protests going on back here. Uh, and Messiah, as you said, most of the time, you know, we have people that are more than willing. If you look at probably every other president that was, I mean, even the Bushes, the father and the son. You look at Eisenhower. You look at a lot of our presidents. Their sons or daughters served in the armed forces. And here's a man that called draftees, suckers and losers during the war. But now he all of a sudden feels that all these nations should have his back uh, because of the war that he started. But once again, I kind of digress because even though we had these international incidents, uh, there are numerous things that we are facing here at home, such as the retaliation against certain states, whether they vote red or blue. How many people are, how we, even here in California, we redrew our maps because Texas redrew their maps. But how long can we keep doing this tit for tat?
It's
So,
deeper than that too. Vermont. Have you heard what's happening in Vermont, brother? Right now, where ICE they're doing the same things like they were trying to do in Minnesota. Just because Vermont's a blue state, but what are you? Vermont's mostly Caucasian, 90 some percent, and it's not being covered by the news on purpose. But ICE is heavily disrupting Vermont right now. So what you're talking about and speaking on is happening literally right now.
yeah, well, you have to remember that Minnesota, Los Angeles, Memphis, those were all uh, what do you kind of uh, what do you call it? They weren't diversions, but they were testing points to see how far they could go and where they could go. Like you
Yeah,
said, you got used to what was happening in Minnesota, which is also a blue state. So if it works in Minnesota, let's see if it'll work in Vermont. Let's see if it'll work in New York. Let's see if it'll work in Washington State. Let's see if it'll work, in Michigan. So I think these were like you doing war. You kind of probe and see, where the weaknesses are and where you can get away with things like that. We have uh, uh, so many distractions that are going on. Like uh,
So
uh,
many.
we we will be electing a new governor here in the state of California. We will be electing a new president. Supposedly, we'll see. Might have another January 6th. But Brother Quincy, what do you think about some of the ways that we have just uh, let power, what is it, absolute power corrupts absolutely?
You know, hmm, I am an inertia type of thinker. You know, these things are not random. It takes time to build up any major change that doesn't get a response that you want to see. If you look over the last 10 years, the things that have happened seem to have been a perfect storm for new problems and circumstances within our country. New as in having a leader that may be able to navigate in a way that seems as if he is with all power, which I do not believe. Um, I think it's very important to keep the conversation going. You reminded me that we are having a new election for a new governor, and I say that with thinking, with everything else going on in the world, I forgot, you know. So hmm, I think that now I must learn more of what's going on around us. Typically, when the distractions start, that is the sign. Everything has a polarity, right? Push and pull. So when those happen, that's when I go, what am I missing? You know, on a side note, it's something that I remember during COVID. I worked as a scientist to help establish the rapid COVID test, right? And I remember that moment in which, vaccine skepticism plus mass skepticism plus just acceptance that this virus is real um, left a gap. And I was thinking in my head, like, people don't realize that this affects the poorest of the ones during this moment, right? It became so obvious that we obviously need help, but no one was thinking what happens to the marginalized crowds when these viruses, get to them. They already have compromised immune systems, which was the main thing we learned is if you have a compromised immune system, you have more of a chance to have a reaction that may cause a fatal, situation. And it has conditioned me now to look deeper into information as I get it. You know,
Brother Masada?
Mhm. Well, I just feel like while all of this is happening, the real costs don't hit the people making the decisions first. That's all I keep going back to. A Governor Newsom, I talk about him sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, yo, I really F with this dude with what he's doing. And then sometimes I'm like, yo, what he's been doing, so some on the other things, nah. And I'm tired of having any leader like that. I love what he's doing when he backs us up and talks crap to the 46, whatever number y'all want to throw out there for this guy out here. But I don't like always having to pick the lesser of two evils. I don't like nobody always holding up for the people. I don't like we have people that are supposed to be serving us, and instead of serving us, they're misusing their power. And so it's easy, brother Quincy, to be distracted from right now about anything. You can forget your own birthday when everything's going out. Right now, I
and I
talked
turn my
to
TV off.
yeah, you have to. I talked to a person earlier, and we talked yesterday about the war, and then we're talking about San Diego locally. Some people are imagining with the threats from Iran and everything else, what it would look like if Americans had to wake up like children in Gaza, like children have been waking up for years. Where if they're 3 years old or 2 years old in Ukraine or 4 or 5 years old, their whole life has been war. Palestine, when we're talking Gaza, 3-year-old baby, 4-year-old baby, their whole life has been war. So you have to wake up about where bombs at. They're talking about attacking San Diego, Chicago, all these major cities and different things. And Americans have, for the first time since I guess what World War I, with Japan hit us and everything, are finally feeling a little scaredness of what we do in the other countries. So my concern is how people are feeling here and how it's spreading the hate and the fear is doing what it's supposed to do, is dividing and conquering like it's supposed to do. But yet I still don't feel like the truth is gone and the truth is voiceless. I still feel we all have a choice. And I feel like at this time, it's a time, Brother James said it, we have a governor coming up where we have to decide and reelect. But then in 2 years, we're going to see if we're doing reelections or we are letting it slide. Because what they've been doing in Minnesota and everywhere else is counter sampling and testing the waters. That's what you do when you want to take over something. When you want to take over a country, do a war, you basically sample and test the waters and see with the resistance. And that's what's been happening. And I am choosing to believe in faith and hope of the people that everybody good or who has some good in their heart who wants us to be one will step in and we'll all do something about it before it's too late.
Well, Masada, sadly enough, if you were born in Palestine after 1947,
You've been
which is the year I was born,
what else happened in 47 though?
1947 was when Israel was officially discovered.
Okay, I just was wondering. I
Yeah,
just
that's why I mentioned 1947 in particular.
okay, just
Yeah.
wondering.
So those people and those children have grown up under the threat or the
Insanity.
pretense of war since for the last 79 years. Not just, this isn't something new. So I'm sorry, Brother Quincy was at work and he just jumped on for a minute. It was glad to see him come by.
Yeah, and give some input and tell why he wants to help out and be a part of it. And hopefully the people heard that and it may interest them. And if you do come by March 21st, I don't like advertising things, but I will advertise this March 21st. We have limited seats. I think we have like 5 spots left or something, Brother James, maybe.
Yeah, I just sent out 4 more spots, but
Okay, so
you
maybe
know,
we'll do 3.
come by, give us a call. There is a waiting list, but these common tables, as we're going to call it, it's a salon series, and we're going to be giving them every 6 to 8 weeks. The reason for these meetings is not just to uh, sit around, have fun, break bread. Of course, that's all part of the fellowship, but to provide some serious discussions about what we're about and what we can do as not only a organization but as individuals in order to uh, uplift our communities. This is something that we have seem to have gotten away from, and the reason why I say that is because we're so we have so many diverse avenues that we can go down rather than combining our resources together and being a united front. Brother Quincy, I'm glad to have you back. Uh,
Apology. Thank you. There's just technical difficulties. I
that-
came in during a very important point. The gathering of resources is something that I really truly believe increases that momentum. You know, we all have a little bit of something, and generally we're taught to be individualistic. I've lived in different cultures, and that is a cultural phenomenon, right? the individual thinker versus the group thinker. And what I've learned is America teaches us to be individualistic. At every
We may have lost him briefly again.
Yeah, I believe he's still at work, but I'm sure he'll come back on. But uh, Brother Quincy is a very intense as well as complex individual, and I think he'll bring an intensity to our projects. Go ahead, Brother Quincy.
apologies, I'm sorry, but I think it's just something going on. I'm gonna have to do this on a computer. Each phone call drops it. So I was just saying about resources. It's very important for us to start resource sharing. And what is a resource? Make the definition very clear. Sometimes a resource is I have 15 cousins and they all have something they want to give. Sometimes a resource is communication. Not everybody wants to be the voice, and sometimes it takes one person who they talk too much anyway. Come on, let's talk. You talk for me and everybody else. Sometimes it takes a maternal or paternal figure to come in and say, hey, I appreciate you because it hit different, you know, or do this or do that or go take care of yourself. It just hits different. And so finding out what those resources are and then just bringing us together and saying, hey, you got berries. Okay. I got wheat. Let's make some pies. You know what I mean? And see what happens.
Yes, most definitely, and you hit the nail right on the head, like you said. You got wheat, I got berries. Masada has something else.
He got salt,
Another,
butter.
another person has maybe the outlet where we can sell. So it's all about, as we said, a coalition, and this
Village
is
thinking, community thinking.
yes, and this is what we strive to convey in these series of meetings. Uh, so let's see, it's about that time, Brother Quincy. It's your first time on the show. We hope to have you back many more times. Any final thoughts you have for us this evening before we go off the air?
Okay. Thank you for allowing me to show and get to know the audience and to show myself. I appreciate that. I always like to talk about the things that I like, and I like to give people a reason to think about the things that I like so they might like it too. Take science seriously. Discovery is a process, and find something inspirational in looking for that discovery. I think I did it with chess. I was convinced it was just a game when I was a child. And then it started to do stuff to people's minds, you know. And I learned about it and I discovered that this game can do really interesting things. So I like to say that to the audience. I like to say that to you, brothers. Take discovery seriously. Start becoming a scientist in your own life.
Thank you so much, there, Brother Quincy. Brother Masada, any final words before we check out tonight?
Yeah, I want to go back to what Brother Quincy was getting at before he got disconnected. The second time about individuality and about the community and group thinking and how America pushes individuality. We all come from a village support system. Every person needs another person, regardless of who you are or not. Every man comes from a woman. Every woman needs a man to make. We need each other to make each other, right? So before we wrap, I want to leave everybody at this. There's always this tension between individuality and unity. People think you got to choose one or the other, but that's not the truth. Individuality is your voice, your identity, your purpose. It's what makes you you. Unity is how we move together, how we build, how we protect each other. The problem is when individuality turns into ego, we divide. When unity turns into conformity, we lose ourselves. So the balance is this: be fully who you are and be not apologetic about it. But don't forget you're part of something bigger. Stand on your square, but respect the board. We talking chess. Different pieces still one accord. King, queen, pawn. We all got roles. Win as a unit, and that's how it goes. You can shine bright, but don't dim your light. Just don't lose sight of left and right. We're stronger together, but built from within. That's where unity and self both win. Real power is when strong individuals can come together with purpose. That's how community grows. That's how change happens. And that's how we move forward together. So be yourself fully and build with others intentionally and be not apologetic of who you are. And that's what not apologetic stands for. That's what CCE stands for, the Coalition for Community Elevation. And that's what I think Brother Quincy felt, Brother Greg, and any other brother from you, James, or anybody else who's met me or met you. That's what we're giving. That's what we're bringing to the table. So always love, light, and unity. Let's come back together and be one.
Sounds like a great ideal and great principles for us to work on it. We'd like to thank everybody that came through tonight, those that are listening. Brother Derek, I'm not sure if he knows that we changed over to Monday or not, but that's fine. We'll have him back. And next week, we will be reporting on what happened at the first salon, as well as what we're doing out at Sweetwater Gardens. So stay tuned
And
for
Mundo.
that. And Mundo, yeah,
It's
Mundo.
coming up soon.
Our Mundo Garden official opening will be on the 18th of April. Mundo Gardens has their official opening on the 3rd of April.
Hey, y'all, I just
So,
got excited. I know I said my closing piece, but I forgot to add this. With the gardens, y'all, we have collard greens going. We got spinach. We got onions. We got tomatoes. We got thyme. We
oh
got
boy,
lettuce growing. We got snap peas. Um, we just got a whole lot of stuff growing, y'all, in the garden. And I'm excited about it because when we started growing it, I met a woman there. And I told her all we have an orchard almost class. Well, not almost. We have an orchard at my house. And she was like, why do you have a garden here? And I said, for you and everybody else can have it for free. And she looked really surprised and happy at the same time. So that's my energy. I'm happy. We're growing food to give to the community. Absolutely free. We love y'all. Brother James, go ahead. I just had to say what we were growing. We are growing a lot more, but I got excited about the food.
no. Hey, I'm glad that we could get to start. I think maybe we might expand over to Paradise Hills or somewhere around in there. Maybe get one more garden, but I think the aspect of growing food and giving away food to the community, it goes back to our original roots, and I mean, you have to respect that. So for everyone, we glad you could join us tonight, and we look forward to talking to you next week. Um,